Welcome. This is your Option Monster Volatility Sonar Report. From the floor of the CBOE, I'm Jamie Tyrrell of Group 1 Trading. Well, today is our last day of VIX March trading, and it's also St. Patrick's Day here in Chicago, and it's a gorgeous day outside today. We got 70-degree weather. The big news in the market is the tech sector today. The tech sector, led by Apple and Dell, is up about 2%. The NDX, the NASDAQ 100, up 2%. That's pulling the rest of the market up a little bit. S&P 500 up almost 1%, and the VIX is finally taking a step down. The VIX cash is down to 42.5. Down a little bit more than $1 on the day, and the VIX March future is sitting at 42. So as people get ready for tomorrow's print in the S&P 500, we're seeing our last VIX trades in March. There's not a lot of volume in March today, and a big reason for that is a lot of people come to close out strategies on expiration because for whatever reason they don't want to hold things into the print. But most of our open interest is really out of play right now. We had that big March 50, 60, 70 call fly. We had a lot of March 50, 60 call spreads, March 55, 65 call spreads. The only thing in common with all these spreads, everything is north of 50, and with the VIX sitting in the lower 40s, all of those options are pretty much done with right now. The March 50 calls have been trading a dime today, a nickel. The March 55's a nickel. So there's not really a lot to play in those options. There's not really a lot that you could close down or open up there, just because there's not a lot of juice left in them. What there is juice in it is the March 42 straddle. We talked yesterday about how it was at about 320. Today it's down to $2.30 and rapidly losing value as we approach expiration. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes out into the night. It will have value because that straddle people will hold overnight into the print, and so at 315 it becomes strictly an overnight play. If you buy it or sell it at 315, you're making a straight guess on where the print will be the next day. Where there has been a lot of activity is May. It's unusual for a back month to dominate an expiration, but that's what we've seen today. There's been a buyer of 20,000 May 35, 45, 55 call butterflies. So when they do that, they're buying the 35 call, they're buying the 55 call, they're selling 245 calls. They paid $250 and then $245. Most of this was done with upstairs brokers. They came in to pay $5,000 in the crowd. The crowd wasn't interested at $250, and they said, I'm trading with an off-floor party, and the trade went up like that. And then they did $5,000 more. The crowd participated small, and then they traded $245 10,000 times. We've seen a lot of these butterfly trades. We just mentioned the March 50, 60, 70. It's a bet by the customer that the VIX will settle in between their strikes, the 35 and the 55 in this case. So they're hoping their best case would be a VIX May settlement around 45. We've seen a lot of these flies. They're attractive because they're priced very tightly because they don't have a lot of directional risk. You know, you're buying that 35 call, but you're selling 245s, and you're buying a 55. So the markets on these are very, very tight, and you can get up a lot of volume because it's not the type of thing that your contraparty is going to need to go out and hedge with a ton of futures, the futures being slightly less liquid than the VIX options. So that was our big trade. That's 80,000 contracts. We've traded about 110,000 contracts on the day. So May is comprising most of our activity, and March is really more of an afterthought. That could change into the close. We do see a lot of trades in the last hour of the day before expirations. The binaries often heat up, the straight yes or no options. We have a lot of open interest on the March 40 binary puts right now. Those are trading about 15 cents. So if you were to buy a March 40 binary put, that would go in the money if the VIX settled below 40, and it would be worth $1. If the VIX doesn't settle below 40, it's worth nothing. So those are trading about 15 cents right here. This is Jamie Tyrrell, Group 1, Option Monster. Check back tomorrow. We'll tell you where the March VIX prints.